Look at the time. Jeez a wee. So I know you saw a thumbnail. You probably wonder what the hell am I talking about. There's not much that new veterans can really understand about what old veterans are really like, because we've been through so much stuff. It's like living 4 lifetimes, really. When you're this age, I'm just gonna tell you guys, when you're this age, and I guess I'm supposed to be hitting my like financial stride at this point. In your 50s, they say you make the most money of all. Now, you guys know I retired a long time ago, and there's a lot of good stuff because of me retiring. Because let's just face it, the military doesn't want us anymore. They don't want guys like me that, you know what I'm saying, that just represent that era. So you understand where I'm going with this, guys. Because we were the redheaded stepchildren after we were used for that stupid illegal bullshit going on for those oil barons. And so I've had 4 very serious things happen to me. And no need to go into it. I can just tell you right now, we're all dead. And if you're hearing me talk to you right now, then something motherfucking happened to you too. Maybe something happened to you, and maybe you're in a coma right now. You know, maybe you are. Well, this is what I look at it. Every near-death experience that other people have talked about is almost exactly what I went through. So now I know for a fact that God is real, and it's not just my subconscious brain, because there are things that jump outside of the loop, that there was no communication between people for them to know. So I already know. And another thing is that once, this was like 2008, by the way. 2011, I actually retired. So for 2008, 2009, 2010, I was probably going through, some wild stuff. Because I go through wild stuff. When you're a player and you're after that, you know what I mean? You say and do a lot of dumb shit. And I said and done a lot of dumb shit. Because this one chick, when she started, I told you guys before, I used to be a horrible simp. But I was a horrible simp because I could only get girls that were at my degenerate level. Yeah, they were beautiful, big old everythings and all that stuff. And yeah, we threw money around like idiots. But I had that big old turn come where this is too incredible of a story for it to even be real. Like, even for me, absorbing my own life. And I'm looking back, I'm like, damn, I did all that shit. It's unbelievable. And when you have a, child or something like that, and you haven't had the opportunity or the luxury of spending your time with your kid, and their mother fills her head full of stuff and says, oh, he didn't love you, they don't want you, that's why he's not here. That's parental alienation. But regardless of where you're going with that and how you feel about that, it's that we basically die. We basically die a spiritual death that kills us from the root. And we replace what we were supposed to have with this bullshit lower dimension. Lower ass dimension. Some of you guys are not in this lower dimension. I'm kind of glad, because as long as you stay aloof to anything, I'm gonna still continue to play this game. Because think about it, if it's true, then that means that I'm talking to you, and I am nothing more to you than your subconscious. That's all I am, is just either a memory or some fabrication that your brain has come up with. And I'm talking about everything, guys. Because if it's a simulation, this is a pretty damn good one. And there's a hell of a lot of things that we can do without having to worry about stuff. So when I say that, it's odd that, they say that God saves babies and alcoholics. He says, God saves babies and alcoholics. And a lot of veterans that get out of the military, they got nobody to return home to. You know what I mean? They've been alienated from their parents, their families, because after you get out of the military and you might be all messed up, they don't want to be around you. That's why they have veterans villages. It's because we know how to tolerate each other. That's true. That's why there are veterans villages all over the world, is because veterans can tolerate each other. They also hold each other to a significantly higher standard as far as the living conditions, because some people are so ate up military they never get out of the military. I personally have never gotten out of the military. I'm a lifer. And even though I'm not, I still practice the same disciplines and still the same routines as I did in the military. Now this is the part 2. This is not going to be a long one. Like I said, this is going to be a short one. Because there's only really 2 parts to being a survivor as far as being homeless and living, hand to mouth when it comes to being homeless. So let's just go from homeless now in the modernity of the world, where there's 385 tons of food thrown away every day worldwide, and go to extreme situations, as in post-apocalyptic situation, where the only strong person that's around you is some Gen Z, old guy, and it just happens to be a veteran. If you got that one guy in your little town or your little, let's say, community, your gated community, you'd be so lucky to have one guy like that. Because if shit hits the fan, you got a, the security guard running around in a golf cart. They are not going to, bunker in with you and, be, teaching you prone position and shit. They're not going to teach you anything. They're going to go home to their own house and protect their own shit. So like I said, homelessness from a post-apocalyptic situation. Veterans who were homeless once can understand that you're not going to go into a restaurant and order food. You're not going to order food, you're not going to pay it. This is a post-apocalyptic situation where there's no money. The only way that you can survive is by trading, because there's no cash, there's no credit cards, there's no electricity. So basically we're all here, just trying to figure shit out and trying to grow plants overnight. None of that shit's going to work. You guys remember that thing that happened in Oregon where the people were rioting? I think it was after George Floyd. And it was Oregon had decided to set up these little bases, these little camps for these lunatics. And then all the stores left and all the people left, and they were camping right outside of the courthouse. And they had like barriers set up for these people to pretend to be, secured in or something, shit like that. And when I look at them and I say to myself, and I said it's kind of silly, but they're like zombies. They're just like drones in a video game, where you've got thousands of zombies coming at you and you just got to just pick them up. That's when I look at them and I say, these are people who have lost their consciousness. These are people who have lost their soul. When you ask them questions, they're impossibly stupid. Now, only in a dream do you see people who can't answer common sense questions. And I'm not talking about asking somebody to name 3 countries. I'm talking about common sense, stupid things, like something as simple as, let's say, changing a drill bit on a cordless drill. Changing a drill bit on a cordless drill ought to be something any 5-year-old could figure out. And by 8 years old, they're already, hanging drywall. But, right on. So, why do veterans get because we're trained in post-apocalyptic scenarios. We're trained in disaster preparedness. So, the 2 things I never thought of before was, before the dollar collapses, why not invest heavy? And that's all I've been doing for the past 11 years, is investing heavy and hard, because I always anticipated the dollar collapsing, the government collapsing, being blackpilled on it every month. yet we are there another month. Make sense? I gotta answer that, but let's get back into this because this is a system that's called FIRE, and if it is, it's basically you're gonna do some multiplication. Yeah. Look at that. Get. Geek. Vamos. Ven, Candela. Handsome, what's that? Alright, so we're gonna do a little math real quick because this is how you're gonna survive apocalypse. Here we go. I'm gonna have to mute this because if you guys love dogs as much as I do, you know that you can't go and just have one. This is a very... Ooh! Hang on, dame eso. No, yo quiero some foto. Yeah, pero enseñan la gente. Okay, so there's a food that's new here in Mexico, and I'm going to show it to you. You guys know this already. You and I probably grew up with these. But they're different. Alright? Who knows what this is? You dogs get out of here. You're not getting on that. Who knows what that is? This is supposed to smell like cabecita. No. Like fried chicken. Is it como...
Es combinada de queso con salchicha.
Ooh. So, okay. So you probably grew up with corn dogs. ¿This is qué?
Es combinada. Salchicha con queso y es con papas.
Oh, okay. So what they did here was instead of using like a corn meal to roll this around it, they put mashed potatoes around a corn dog, and then it's the way the Koreans do it. That's how Koreans do corn dogs. Wild stuff, huh? All right, listen to me now and hear me later because this is the last part. If you can figure this out, you can be homeless. It doesn't matter. If you are looking to try and invest to get yourself out of the situation you're in because you're tired of being broke, you have to make sacrifices. I did it for 11 fucking years because prior to that, starving half the fucking time because I had $1,886 fucking dollars in child support for one kid I never got to see. The 25X rule. What is the 25X rule? What you're going to do is you're going to invest if you were to just take the number and 25X your expenses for the month and then take 4% off of that number, that's how much money you need to invest every month. It's a 4% sort of rule. You're going to work on getting stuff that pays you commission. You're going to get into drop shipping, affiliate marketing, and you got to do 5 streams of income. And you need to do it as soon as possible because if one goes down, you have 4 more. So you're always doing this so you can jump and jump and jump. Okay? Now watch. You're going to take 2X, 25X, your annual expenses. 25X your annual expenses. And then you're going to invest 4% of that number. This is the only way that you'll make it out of this fucking shit alive. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, that you need to play this game in such a way so you're just getting coins. And you're not wasting your time, doing something that you don't want to do. You also want to work as few hours as possible for the maximum amount of return. And I say to people that, they scoff, for example, at how much the pay is here in Mexico, for example, and you have professional instructors, some of the best in the world, by the way, and they're willing to get paid $1.50, for the whole day for doing a class. No, not $1.50, $1.50, $150. And these dudes pull it off, they get 150. Bro, that's like getting paid $11,000. It's like 10 times what the average salary is. And so I tell people, if you're going to invest hard in the best people. Invest hard into your best workers. For example, if you got a guy who is the best at what you do, that's going to be your employee and nothing else. You want to give him a glass ceiling from hell, and you want to make sure that that person is definitely a follower of you. Because once you got an army of them, you don't really need to do much of anything. It's very easy to kind of chill out and slack, but it's also the temptation. It's the carrot on the stick that says slow down, don't keep getting after it, don't keep grinding. 11 years without money, guys. 11 years. That's how long I've been without money. I've been without money because I decided to take that route. Because every single time that I allowed myself to, sort of normalize what other people live every day. So you can't just go from, homeless, poor, middle class white trash to, being fabulously wealthy on, Star Island. But you got to start somewhere. And if you don't start and you don't develop discipline, it's even hard for me because even now, after all these years, the minute, I'm going to tell you, this is my routine. My routine. And some of you veterans understand this shit because we don't understand this. So here we are. And I'm just going to put this at exactly at 1:05. So we'll just say this, clock. If this is the first of the month, let's just say we're going to go with 1 July. Okay? And we calculated our money. It's $1,000. That's $12,000 in a year. But over here in Mexico, the interest rate is like 10%. So you're getting a 10% return. That's better than the fucking stock market. And it does fluctuate. It has dropped way the hell down. Right now, it's really way the fuck down. And I think that's because of the dollar. But you definitely want to invest every single day at midnight. Not every single day. Every single month at midnight. The soonest you can get up to, like I said, those revenue streams before are going to play this out. You got to just do it. If you can't afford more than 100, do 10, then the next month do 20, then the next month do 30, and the next month do 50, and so on and so forth. And this is my trick because I had to fool myself into doing this bullshit. Set up an allotment so that money comes out of your check before it even hits direct deposit. Because if not, you have to play this stupid game like I do when you get your direct deposit. Then you got to go into your brokerage service or whatever, and then you got to, pick whatever stock you're going to invest in, and then you do a certain type of thing where at the end of the year you reinvest it, you roll it back in. We're not talking about stocks that pay out dividends, but if you did have stocks that paid out dividends, $1,000 a month, and you were gaining 4%, you are now living off of the 4%, and in 3 months after you have your dividends checks when the company pays you for holding stock in the company, now you have improved from 4% to largely over probably about 16%. So now you have a 16% number, which what I said, your 25x, you're going to figure it out. I know this is complicated, but it isn't really that hard. You invest hard, starve for a while, do the cheapest shit possible, no need to spend money on anything else. If you died like I did, and you came back to life, you're not going to go and do the same shit you did before to get dead. So now that you know that every single month, the reason why you end up that last month, that last part of the month, where you have nothing and you're broke or you're begging people for fucking, cheese and bread, it's because this right here is the most difficult thing to discipline yourself with. The other part is dick discipline. Because there's only two things that affect men really bad, and that's romances and finances. You got it? Romances and finances pretty much trump any other problems you could possibly have in your fucking life. Because think about it. Those are the only ass-kicking fucking reasons I could think of. Someone tries to steal your girl, or someone fucks up your money. So you need to be proactive. You need to be 50 fucking moves ahead. So jump on this. Calculate your base expenses at 25x. Get that number divided by 4%. That's the number that you need to invest every month I'm just giving you an example. There could be any number in the friggin' world. You and I are different worlds here, okay? Once you've got to a certain point, you need to buy assets to create more revenue for you. And some people are pretty fucking smart. They're going to go on Craigslist. They're going to buy a $140 ice cream machine that, the self-serve, and they're going to set it up, and they're only going to do short events that create the most revenue in the shortest amount of time for the high volume, and then you're going to close up shop and not do it again until the fair is coming. So you follow me? You're going to sell Christmas trees on Christmas. You're going to sell jack-o'-lanterns on Halloween and hooker clothes and costumes and shit. You see what I'm saying? So instead of dedicating yourself wholeheartedly to a career and a job where you have this stuff, what you do is you set these small things up in advance. So Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, even though I hate these holidays, you better believe I'm going to find a way and position myself just right to be noticed by friggin' everybody, advertise hard, sell every single stick of everything you have, create promotions, learn how to sell, I guess, but get rid of everything. If they have $1 left in their wallet and there's like, fireworks or something that's 4th of July, you get that dollar. And you put that into this number right here. Because every month you're going to see those numbers go up. The fun thing is this, if you know the story of compound interest, it might surprise you if you do not know. So let me help you. By the time you've got 30 days in a calendar, you've got 30 days and 4 weeks approximately. And you need to invest one piece of rice every day. So let's just take pennies, for example. We're going to take the thing here, and I'm going to show you this. But I'm just going to put a penny, okay? A penny. Now, on the second day, you're going to put 2 pennies. On the third day, you're going to put 3 pennies. And so on, and so on, and so on. Now, after 30 days, after you've doubled that penny over and over and over and over and over again, who knows the sum of that equation? If it's 1 penny doubled every day for 60 days, so as in today is day 1 penny, tomorrow is day 2 pennies, the next day is 4 pennies, the next day is 8 pennies. So you double that number. At the end of the month, who knows how much money you have? These are pennies. All right? Let's figure it out. Pennies. It says 1. Double that, that's 2. Double 2, that's 4. Double 4, that's 8. Double 8, that's 16. Double 16, 32. And so on and so on and so on. We can do this all night. Now let's just take this for a second. And let's say that, now this is how Ponzi schemes work. But you basically need to Ponzi scheme yourself. So you're the one that's you're at the bottom of the pyramid and at the top of the pyramid because you're the only one in it. Everybody inside your family unit needs to add value in other ways. One of you needs to be in charge of the kitchen. And I don't care which kid it is, your wife, girlfriend, whatever, or you, but someone needs to be in charge of the kitchen. Because abs are made in the kitchen, discipline is made in the household. You're going to have to learn discipline. Because some of you guys literally spend your whole paycheck 6 hours after you get it. The whole paycheck is gone. By Monday, it hurts, man. I know the feeling. But you know that feeling too, that when for whatever reason you either lost money by hiding it from yourself and then you found it after the fact? That's a good feeling. Or you had no money sent to you, so you're like totally broke, but you got it reimbursed. That would be great. The result? 25x in income. 25 times your expenses times 4%. So, 0.04. That's how you calculate, 0.04. That's a percent, that's 4%. You multiply that number times whatever your fantasy number is, that's a 25x, and that is your investment strategy. If you do this successfully, you're going to be hungry for a long time. And it's a motherfucker. It's a bitch because you don't have money to ball like that. You're not buying, dumb shit anymore. You're not buying Starbucks ever. And the first of the month, you're not going to the fancy dinner with any girls. You're just skipping that and saying the next day, go, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to go to the gym instead. Spend time with you. You see, we die, and not just physical death, but a spiritual death. And some of us die young. Some of us are actually dead, like this guy. And we somehow are in this thing, I don't know what this is, but could be a simulation, I don't know. But isn't it kind of weird that we can just formulate this stuff out of thin air and it actually is true? It actually comes true if you put enough effort and focus and emotion toward it. That if you think logically, you might come up with a solution. Did you know that early in the morning, 4:30ish in the morning, I get a stream of intelligence that hits me. And I have to make notes. It's almost like somebody dictating to me. Now, some people call that local, crazy, whatever. I don't think so, because none of the stuff I think about that I put on here is anything compared to that early morning blast of intelligence. And I know this seems like because it is. It's two parts. You die physically, but you die spiritually, and then you die physically again because no one wants to be around you, or you only hang out with degenerates that make your life worse. So use this time that you have of not wasting it on other people, and take this advice. 25x. That's how much you use in expenses in 1 year. Multiply that number by 25. Then you're going to take, and before you move the decimal point, you're going to divide that by 4%, 0.04. 0.04. That's your investment number. You got to get close to that. I'm serious, guys. I'm talking about guys probably investing up to 75% of everything they make into something. And like I said, whatever you decide to do, it needs to start with investment first. And if you have smart friends that do this too, these should be your only friends that you talk to. We don't talk about girls. We don't talk about, what I did in the jiu-jitsu last night. And this guy, none of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. You bring value first. Do not depend on other people to bring value for you. This is a friggin' fever dream, guys. Don't expect people to be like they used to be. Don't expect people to be smart. Don't expect people to be kind. Expect people to be aloof. Expect people to pretend like they don't understand you. You want to make sure that you know this, because I'm sure that your eyes are foggy, like fuzzy, and you're hearing a high-pitched frequency in your ear right now. Yeah, welcome to the afterlife. We're all dead. All we're doing is reviewing our life that we had. And the Lord Jesus is just watching us. He's just hanging out with us. You all right? You look beautiful, by the way. Se ver muy hermosa, amor. So, take my word for this, because I have done this for 11 years now. Hence, my ability to give all of it away. And I know you guys think, that's crazy. Why would you give all your money away? Well, what am I going to fucking use it for? Really? Just to buy a bunch of shit so I look cool? That doesn't make any sense. I would rather use this. Now, this is what I think was meant the other night when someone said, instead of blah, 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 why don't you spend your money helping people get away from social media? And I'm like, I'm not using my money for that. People are addicted to stuff, whether you like it or not. They're never going to stop if you tell them. And what are you going to do with money? I mean, come on. Money is nothing more than a tool to do this kind of stuff. To do fun stuff, to do creative stuff that would have normally taken, lots and lots of years and lots of people, and having to buy a house and put in a foundation and going through all this shit. And you could just avoid it all by subbing it out, which is the same as renting. So The last thing is this, is that by next year, you're going to see some wild shit coming out of this way. Because even though I don't accept donations, I do accept materials. And there's a lot of people that love to see what these kids can do when they've given good materials. So unlike, people pitching people to get money from people, I don't want your money. I'm not interested in your money. In fact, it would piss me off if you insisted. Because all I want to do is have good equipment for these firefighters. So that they'll have something to train with that's not going to give them cancer. No used equipment. Just brand new in plastic stuff. We'll get it good and dirty. Don't worry about that. And that's all we can do. And that's all I can tell you about today. And my name's the Professor. Yo, I'm out. Y'all hit that like button, please.